Welcome to Portrait Letters podcast number 2469, Percolating. So, as you all have been following me over the last couple of weeks, you saw me go on a cruise, you saw me go down to Cabo for a wedding, you saw me come back even after I took a magic carpet ride in LAX. Some people are going, what's a magic carpet ride in LAX? You trip, you fall, you end up sprawled out on the floor on the way to customs. Hang on. And now you're having to recover with bruised ribs and scrapes and bruises and all that sort of fun stuff. But the percolating is, there was a lot of information we got on that cruise, a lot of information that was shared from everybody that was on the cruise with us. We had about 60 to 70 people with us. It was just an incredible, incredible time. In fact, I am going to put, if I can find it real fast, I just suddenly thought, why am I doing this when I could be doing that? Yeah, I'm going to have to find it. But what I'm going to do is in the description, I'm going to put a link to the 2027 cruise. They have a deal on right now where you can secure a cabin for $200, fully refundable up until November 14th. The special of the $200 for holding the cabin is only available until May 15th. But it's no risk because you can fully refund it up until November 14th when the final payment is due. We're going to be going out of Port Canaveral to the Bahamas. I've never been to the Bahamas before, so this is going to be a new destination for me. Woohoo! And it'll be my 24th cruise. Yes, I think it's 24. I'm going to have to go back and count up all my cruises. I actually found my box. I don't think I have it in here yet. No, I don't have it in here, but I actually have a box that has all the key cards from every cruise I've ever been on, except the Armour Allegro, because on Armour Waterways we did not get our room keys. We had to surrender our passport to get a room key, and to get our passports back we had to give them back the room key. So that's the only cruise I do not have a room key for, but all the other ones I do. So I'm going to have to go find that box so I can double check that it's, I'm pretty sure it's like, this one's going to be 24 because my last one I think was 23. But anyway, so yeah, we're going to be going to Port Canaveral. I think it's, hang on, I've got to figure this out now. InvestorsOnTheSea.com. That's the one that I want. That's the one that I want. I'm going to put it right in here right now. Let's see. I'll put it in the description. There it is. Okay. It's now being updated. It's now in the description. So, yeah, so this cruise was absolutely amazing. We had a lot of speakers. We had John Logar, who would do breakfast round tables in the morning. You had the Windjammer would open at 7 o'clock in the morning. He would grab the big round table under the little gazebo thingy and sit there and just answer questions on business. And you know, if you came with a problem, he would help you solve the problem. And you learned so much at these little impromptu things. And then on our port days, Casey would do a pop-up mastermind in the afternoon. We would be back in the conference room if you wanted to go. If you were off on shore excursions, it didn't matter. We all came together at dinner every night. We had a group of tables that we could sit with, and the goal was to sit with somebody different every night. So you got to know people on the cruise. I met this one woman, Daniela, and she was a spitting image of my niece Talia. And I said to her when they were sitting down, I said, look, I'm sorry I keep staring at you, but you are a spitting image of my niece. And she says, really? I says, yeah. And so I pulled out my phone, I popped up a picture of my niece and showed it to her. Her and her husband both went. And I said, what's really weird is that she has an older sister called Daniela. And that was the lady's name who was sitting with us. And so I got a picture of us together on the cruise. And then when I was down at the wedding in Cabo, Talia was there. So I said to her, so I've got something to show you. She goes, what? I said, this woman's name is Daniela. And I said, she has a spitting image of you. And her and her husband are sitting there, and I pull up the photo and show them, and they're like, and then the rest of the family gets around and they're all like, they could not believe how much these two women looked alike, completely separate lives, different locations, everything. Yet it was unbelievable. But you get to do fun things like that. You get to meet interesting people. You get to learn about them. You get to, not just their businesses, but them as a person, as somebody I want to do business with. So basically, on this cruise, you're interviewing people that you want to work with. One of the things they had us do was write down on a small sticky note, just the little ones, our name and what our superpower was. And that way, if you want somebody who has that type of superpower, you now know who to contact. My superpowers I put down was investigative researcher, and that's basically what I do with genealogy, as I'm an investigative researcher. And then my other one was master storyteller. I love to tell stories. I love to help people uncover their stories. I love to help people find out where they came from, so it's a part of their identity. Find some interesting stories about their ancestors and things. I just love the storytelling side of it. What can I say? So those I put down as my two superpowers. And we've all got this. Emily did an awesome job getting everything into a spreadsheet for us. So we can now pull up that spreadsheet and find out what everybody's superpower is. And then somebody else went in and took that spreadsheet and added categories for what each one falls into. So, if you want somebody in communication, you go down there, what's their superpower in the community? Oh, that's the one that I need, and this is the person's name. It's awesome. And I will tell you this, we all became part of a WhatsApp group before the cruise. So we started getting to know each other in the WhatsApp group. And then once everybody was on the cruise, that was how we communicated with everybody, was through WhatsApp on our phones and stuff. And then that thing is like pumping every single day. People are in there and commenting on things that they've accomplished since the cruise, questions that they have about something that was said on the cruise. If they're looking for somebody that can help them do X, Y, and Z, they can find that person. Or if there is nobody that does X, Y, Z, somebody will know somebody who does. It's just a great networking thing that we're in with this group. And I will tell you, these people are incredible people. Some I have known for years and have met them in person multiple times. And so seeing them again after X number of years and not being able to see them in person was awesome. Some I have only ever met through Zoom calls. So to actually finally see them physically and be able to hug them and talk with them without a screen between us was amazing. And then I got to meet a whole bunch of people that I didn't even know, which was even better. It was just such a good mix of people there, people people you don't know. One guy came on this cruise. He knew nobody on the cruise, like zero. He just found he found the link in a group that he belonged to that one of the organizers runs. That's about as much as he knew about the cruise, but he came on it anyway and had a blast. I mean, he was such a character, this guy. He was awesome. He was one of the first people that met me in the little seating area in the hotel on the day before the cruise, where I had set myself up to greet everybody and to have a meeting place where people could come and meet other people and things like that. And we just had a blast down there. We had such a good time. We're talking about all sorts of topics. We'd start on one topic and we'll be segue over to this topic over here. Somehow we would get back over here, miss that topic we originally started with and go over this way. And then somehow we'd circle around and get back to our original topic. It was so much fun. We got to meet a lot of people. At that point, I got to meet a lot of people I didn't know. I got to meet some people that I did know, people I've met in person before, people I haven't met in person before. Then we had a mix of that evening where we got to meet more people. Because I didn't know everybody. I just told everybody, this is where if you want to say hi, this is where I am in the hotel. So but I was keeping an eye on who was coming in to check in. And I'd be in the middle of a conversation. I'll turn around and see somebody and I'd be right back. And I would just take off and leave my stuff with these people who I just met and go over and greet people in the line and things like that. Tell them where we were. I said, if you're up to it, come back. And if not, we'll see you at the reception tonight. And then I'll go back over to the group and we'll carry on talking. We had such a blast. It was so much fun. And that was before we even got on the ship. But you got to meet people at breakfast. People sat together at lunchtime. People sat together at dinner time. Even if you were just like on the cafe promenade and just having a snack or something, somebody could come up and sit down with you with their cup of coffee and their snacks, and you just sit there and chit chat. Or you're out by like I always told people, of port day, I'll be out somewhere out by the pool underneath the overhang from the upper deck. Just come hang out if you want to. And people would come and do that. One night we went up to the solarium, which is the adults only area on the ship for the pool. And they have one of these big bed things, big 4-poster bed things that you can lounge on. And there was probably about 4 or 5 of us girls just up there, just hanging out. It was great. It was fun. It was a lot of fun. Some of the guys came over and hung out with us for a few minutes before they went off and did what they were doing. And we would meet up with people in the shows and sit and watch the shows together. you'd be walking on the promenade, and like at night before I go to bed, I'd used to go and walk down the promenade if there was no party on that evening, because if there was a party on, it was packed and there was no way I was walking through that crowd. But I would just go and wander down the promenade, and it's as the stores were getting ready to, like between 9:30 and 10, when the stores are getting ready to close and all of that. And you never know who you're going to meet down there. And sometimes I'd meet people down there, and we'll just stand there and just chit chat, and or go find a seat in somewhere and chit chat. Went to the schooner, was walking through the schooner bar one night and saw one of our people sitting there enjoying the music. The pianist was playing and singing, and so I went and sat with her. I had a great time. We were singing along with the guy and talking in between and that sort of stuff. And then we had other people from the group come and join us, and some would stay for a while, some would stay for a longer time. It was just such an incredible feeling. But the information, the networking was amazing. The information that was shared with us by the speakers and the organizers was incredible. I'm, like I said, percolating. That's today's topic. We're percolating on this information. But what am I doing in the action side of it? Well, one of the things I've done on the action side is that I announced in one of the pop-up meetings that I had finally finished that song. And by the time we got off the cruise ship, it was set up on the distribution channel that I use. It was set up to be released on Saturday and go out onto Spotify and about 40 other platforms, which was really cool. It was really cool. And to be able to get that done. And I finally remembered yesterday that I hadn't thanked everybody in the group that had participated, because I was struggling with the song, but between conversations I was having and things I was being taught by, everybody in that cruise and in our group had some input into that song, where it helped trigger something in my brain. It's like, oh, that's the lyric I'm missing, or that's what I need to do, or this is how it needs to flow. I just sat down one morning and went, and it flowed. So I went back and did a huge thank you for all of those who unknowingly contributed to the song. So that was one of the things I got done. And I got another 2 songs up and released as well. I've got another one coming out on the 24th of May. The 24th of May. Yeah, coming out on the 24th of May. I've got some ideas that I've been writing down, because I'm looking at reformatting the podcast. I'm looking at, Tessa and I are going to talk about reformatting Zanakin's podcast. And so we've got all these ideas going on, and we're taking notes, so that when we get a chance to meet, we've got those notes there. We can noodle them, and I'm getting into ChatGPT and doing some brainstorming sessions in there, like saying, just basically doing a brain dump and having it organize my thoughts. Getting my thoughts organized, jeepers. But one of the biggest things that hit me is that I actually have processes. I'm one of those, if those that make me, I'm fly by the seat of my pants type of person. I'm all over the place. I'm here, there, I'm everywhere. But each thing I do has a process. And I was like, damn, I didn't want to be put into a process box, but I actually am, because I do have processes. On Fridays, I open office call, I got asked, well, what's your process for writing a song? I said, well, it varies. They go, what do you mean? I says, well, an idea will kind of like, I'll get a phrase in my head and I've got to write a song about it, or I'll go write a poem about it, or I'll do a blog about it, or something like that. I said, it just depends on what it comes from. And they said, well, how do you get the words? I said, sometimes they flow and sometimes they don't. I just take little notes in my journal, and before I know it, there's a song that's starting to write. And they go, what do you do next? I said, well, after I get the words down, I put them all into ChatGPT and said, here's the song, please proofread it, but do not change any words, just give us the suggestions. Then I go through those suggestions that it gives me and yay or nay them on my copy, on my side, not on ChatGPT's copy. And because some of the ideas I like, some I don't. It's just one of those things. And I said, and then once that's solidified, I then work out what style I want to use. I have ChatGPT write the style for me, and then I upload the lyrics and the style into Suno, and it produces the songs. And sometimes I got to go through different things because it doesn't quite sound right. And then I realize that I'm listening on my speakers on my computer, which doesn't give the best sound so far. And I can't find my portable speakers anywhere. Can't find them. I found my Bose speakers, but they require US power. They require 110 power, and it actually says it on there. So my brother's investigating that one. But anyway, so I'm processing things, and I have a process for that. And then once I've got the one that I like, I've got a couple of people I get to listen to the songs for me. They give me their feedback. I make some tweaks and changes if I feel like they need to be made. But I do have my noise cancelling headphones, which when I was on the cruise, I suddenly thought, oh, I can plug it directly into my laptop. And I was doing that and listening to the songs, and I listened to every single song. I've got 8 so far. And they all sounded so different because they were coming through proper speakers. Well, speakers that weren't tinny laptop speakers or computer speakers or phone speakers. They gave me real rich sound, which is what I'd been looking for. And it's like, oh, man, this sounds so great. And then I go back to my speakers on my laptop or I've been doing on my computer. I'm sort of like, it sounds really tinny. I like the good richness of it. So if I really need to listen to a song and I feel like something keeps landing on my leg. There's nothing there though. And I just and so I have to pull out my speakers if I want to get the rich sound of it. And like I've got one of them is Wyatt Jefferson Callahan when he does America celebrates 250 years. I wanted him to have a baritone voice. I love baritone voices when they're singing, especially country patriotic songs. I love to hear the baritones. The tenors are okay. And some of them I actually have a tenor on my AI singer. In my AI singer roster, I do have a tenor in there, but now I've got a baritone in there, and it was just the first time I heard him, and even though I was on a tinny speaker, I just like melted. When I put the headphones on and re-listened to that song, I was gone. It was sort of like, this guy can sing, and even though he's AI generated, I'm like, I've got to find other songs for him to do. So he's going to come out with his own album at some point. Oh look, we've got messages coming through from the group. But so I'm letting things percolate while I'm still taking action on some things. Some things I have to percolate a little longer. Some things I am taking action on that were done. We got these awesome notebooks given to us. I absolutely love this. Look, it's all soft-sided. It's got the elastic bit. It's got a tree on the front, the tree of life. And as soon as I saw that, and they're laying at every place on the tables at every seat, there was a journal, all different colors. There was no purple ones because I would have gone and switched them out. But I liked the green on this one with the gold. And I looked at it and went, family tree genealogy. There you go, just like that. And it's really cool because each page has where you can put a memo number at the top. You can put the date. You got the day. Oops, hang on, sorry. The day of the week here that you can circle. You can circle what the weather's like up above it. Up here, it's got the weather, so you can circle that. But they're just really cool. And oh, that's where that got to. So I have to show you something really cool and sparkly. So my housekeeper, when I was in Cabo, she came in one day and did up my room and everything else and left it, and she left her calling card behind. Look at this. How cool is this? It's got sparkles on it, and I just absolutely fell. I stole the card. I thought, I'm keeping that. The housemaid personalized her card with some sparkles on there, a little bit of decorations, some stickers. She just needed the sparkles for me. That was it. I was done. And then when they do the turn down at night, they put this leather thing there that has the thing in for ordering breakfast that you got to put out by a certain time. And they also do a mindful rest card. And this one happened to be, I don't think I kept the one from the night before on this one, but it says, we hope your day was uplifting and wish you a restorative rest. Tapping exercise to uncloud your mind and help melt away stress. Cross arms over your body with palms comfortable on chest. Take a deep breath and hold for a moment. Exhale completely through your mouth. Repeat the breathing while gently tapping shoulders with the tips of your fingers for 1 to 3 minutes. Isn't that cool? You get a mindful rest, and then it's on Spanish on the other side. I just thought that was really cool. And they had one the night before, which was all about breathing, taking deep breaths and cleansing the breaths and that sort of thing. Just little things along the way. And that's in this is my cruise journal. I plan to have any ideas and stuff, any work that I'm doing from this journal that originated from the cruise I'm going to be doing in my business, or ideas and things like that, are all going into this journal because it's all part of the cruise. And so my thought is that by the time I get to next cruise, this journal is full of stuff, ideas that I have thought about, rejected, actioned, things like that. Plans I've put in. I put plans in here from ideas that came from the cruise and all that sort of stuff. So this is going to be my 2026 cruise journal, and I can't wait to get on Harmony of the Seas in February next year to get my 2027 cruise journal and get that filled up too. So if you want to come join us on the cruise, the link is in the description down below. Just click on that link. It's a $200 deposit, fully refundable until November the 14th. The $200 cabin deposit is a special that is only available until May 15th. But get in so we can get the cabins booked. I've already got my cabin. My deposit's paid. I've got my cabin. I already know where I'm going to be on the ship, which is awesome because it's in a great spot. Yeah, come join us. Come join us. I'm going to see if I can get some people to come on and talk about the cruise and how it's affected them since then, so you guys can come join us as well. But anyway, I'm out of here. I've rambled on for long enough. I'm going to go percolate some more and get some more stuff done. And because sometimes, when you're percolating, the coffee's going through and it's dripping through. You still got that good coffee down the bottom there. You got to go drink, and otherwise, don't let it percolate for too long. But anyway, I'm out of here. Go out, have a super fantastic sparkling evening, and we'll catch you guys back here tomorrow evening at 6 p.m.